Hey everyone, I'm going to be showing you how to make some super simple no-bake chocolate oat bars. You'll need a few things. You're going to need a cup of butter or 2 sticks, 3 cups of oats, a half cup of brown sugar, a cup of chocolate chips of your choosing, a half a cup of peanut butter, and a teaspoon of vanilla. First things first, we need to prepare our pan. So I've got an 8x8 pan. You can use a 9x9, you can use a 9x13. If you use a 9x13 though, it's definitely going to result in thinner bars. So my pan, I've sprayed with cooking spray. I should have put parchment paper down as well, but I didn't have any. So if you've got parchment, make sure you put it down. It'll keep your bars from sticking and make them easier to take out of the pan. So first we're going to melt our butter. So I'm just going to drop my sticks of butter in my pan. I've got my burner on medium heat right now to melt our butter. We're not trying to brown the butter. We're not trying to boil the butter. We just need to melt it. And I'll apologize for the setup that I've got going on here. It was difficult to find an angle that would show my stovetop and me. So I decided just to show the stovetop. So you get a lot of my hands and a lot of my stovetop. We're all doing the best we can with what we have. So you're just gonna melt that butter, kind of keep it moving every now and then so that you don't burn it. We don't wanna brown the butter, like I said, we just wanna melt it. Just taking it from a sort of solid state to a liquid state. And it shouldn't take too long to melt, but it could take some time. I definitely splashed myself with butter at some point here, so if you see that, that's fun. So once your butter is melted, give it a quick stir, make sure there's nothing on the bottom, and you'll add in your brown sugar. Now I've got light brown sugar. If you prefer dark brown sugar, that works just as well. Just use what you have. Now is also the time to add in your teaspoon of vanilla. This is a very loose interpretation of a caramel, sort of. And so it's going to hold our oats together and create a base for our bars. And we just want to combine these ingredients, our butter, our brown sugar, and our vanilla. So just stir it up until it's a cohesive mix. And I've dropped my temperature down to low at this point. We don't want to boil this, like I said. We want it to sort of be an even, consistent temperature the entire time. We're just trying to dissolve the individual grains of sugar and make a cohesive mix. So again, just keep it moving. Right now it probably feels a little bit thick. You can feel that sugar resisting. In the end, we want that to be a thinner mixture. It's hard to explain, but you can just sort of feel the difference. You can feel the resistance of the sugar pulling back at you initially, and then as it starts to dissolve, it becomes easier to work through with your spatula. We want to make sure we don't have any clumps of sugar or any streaks of the vanilla in there. Just want it to be one cohesive mixture again. Probably getting pretty close to where we want it to be. And I'll apologize for the background noise. There's somebody mowing their lawn right now, so I don't know if you can hear it, but I can definitely hear it. And once we've gotten that where we want it, we're going to add in our 3 cups of oats. Being careful not to splash ourselves with hot butter. And again, I'm on a low heat here. And we just want to keep this moving so nothing sticks to the bottom, the oats don't burn. So just keep stirring it up. And we're going to have this mixture on the stovetop for 4 minutes. A minimum of 3, but preferably 4. And we're doing that because we want to keep this mixture, we want to get it to a certain temperature and we want to keep it at that temperature. If we don't get it hot enough for long enough, it won't set up properly. And instead of having a nice solid bar that you can hold, you'll kind of have a mushier situation. We don't want that. Keep stirring. So probably about 4 minutes here through the magic of video. And once we've hit that 4 minutes, we're just going to turn the heat off. And we'll take about half of this oat mixture and put it on the bottom of our prepared pan. Again, if you have parchment paper, use parchment. I didn't have any. I just sprayed the bottom of my pan. And we're just eyeballing what half of the mixture looks like. It's not imperative that you get it exactly right. We just want to have a good base, and a half of it seems to be the right amount. So once you've got half of that mixture in your pan, you're just going to spread it out into all of the corners, getting a nice flat, even base. Or as even as possible. And we'll just put that off to the side once we've gotten it flattened out, and we'll move on to our chocolate and peanut butter mix. So again, this is a cup of peanut butter and a full cup of chocolate chips. I've got dark chocolate chips and creamy peanut butter. You can use milk chocolate chips, you can use semi-sweet chocolate chips, you can use crunchy peanut butter, whatever combination you prefer. I personally like dark chocolate better than the others, so I keep dark chocolate on hand. And we just want to combine those two together. So over a very low heat, we're mixing them together. You can do this part in the microwave if you want to, just in slow bursts in the microwave. We don't want to burn our chocolate. There's nothing worse than scorched chocolate, and there's no coming back from it. If you've scorched your chocolate, you'll have to start over. You can't redeem yourself on that one. So on a very low heat, we're just going to stir these together until it's a cohesive mixture, until it's all combined. And I'm literally picking up the mix and moving it around and picking it up and moving it around so we don't burn anything on the bottom. We definitely want to be mindful of not burning the chocolate. So we're getting there. There's definitely still some chunks of chocolate. We're just going to keep stirring it until it's smooth. Still a couple little chunks, but it's definitely getting a lot closer. Give it a couple more good stirs and you'll get those melted nicely. There's nothing better than chocolate and peanut butter. It's such a great combination. And you'll see here that I've moved my camera so we can get a good view of the chocolate, which is great, but it's gonna come back and bite me here in just a second because I forgot that I had moved it. So we're all smooth, we've turned off our burner. The chocolate and peanut butter looks great. So now you're gonna take that chocolate and peanut butter mixture and you're going to pour it over the oat layer that we've already got in our pan. This is where the camera angle has come back to bite me because I forgot I moved the camera. And now you can't really see what I'm doing, so I'll have to explain it to you. So we've dumped all of our chocolate peanut butter mixture on that layer of oatmeal that's already in the bottom of our pan. And once we've gotten it all in there, we're going to push it out to the edges of the pan. We want to completely cover that layer of oats. This is going to be the middle of our bar. Again, sorry, I live on a busy street, so a motorcycle just went by. And so here would be a good time to probably put that in the fridge so that that chocolate can set. I didn't. I just put the rest of the oat layer on top. Either way, it works just fine, honestly. I just found that I had some trouble getting that second layer of oats to flatten out and smooth out properly. And I think if I had put that chocolate in the fridge first to let it set, it wouldn't have had as much of an issue. But it's fine. And right about now, I'm gonna realize that I've moved the camera and get really angry with myself. So give it a second. And now. So I'm just gonna recap what I did. So we put that chocolate layer down first. And we used all of our chocolate, every last bit. And we put down the rest of the oats as a second layer on top of the chocolate and spread it all out to the corner, or as much to the corner as possible. I don't think I had quite half there, so it's not as thick of a layer as I'd like. And then you're going to put it in the fridge, let it set for a couple of hours, and now you've got these delicious chocolate oat bars.